my channel. Today I want to share with you some of the things that we've received for our homeschool class. And before I get too far into it, these are purchased through our charter school. They give us an allotted amount per kid each year, and second major purchase that I have done with these funds. And I have to kind of tell you a little bit. The first time I ordered through my charter, it was a lot of books and stuff, and you know, because it was just like a whole world of, oh, these are ones that we have been wanting to read, let's do it. And to be honest, I just wasn't using it wisely. We of course read the books and we loved them. The problem is that I feel a sense of obligation to my charter school, to the person that's in charge, that's approving these things, to show, hey, yes, we use this on a day-to-day purchase. We use this all the time. And the stuff that I'm presenting as proof of homeschool is not so much books that we've read, book reports. It's a lot of the more hands-on type of things. So with that, I just want to share with you kind of a different haul that's just, now I'm wiser in my purchases selections. So when I made this order, I realized that one of the things that we're using up so quickly is our art supplies. Especially if you're on the Ambleside website, they do share certain links. And so the first time I got these ones that they recommended, these are the travel. And to be honest, I'm sure they're great quality, but the one that I got my little girl was a cheaper set, and we have found that we like them more. And these ones are definitely harder to open. Golly. So the older three got these, and then the other girl got the one that you actually saw me using in my Bible journaling. So these are the ones that that we got using the Ambleside link, and it had like a little tiny paintbrush in it. And to be honest, I found this cheaper set. It's by Jenny Q. I brought one in here to show you. Okay, here we go. This one that I got my daughter, we actually found that we love more. They had more colors, more choices. The quality is, I would say, just about the same. And it comes with a water brush. It doesn't come with the little fine paintbrush. It comes with a water brush. And so here's what it looks like. And I'll have this all linked down below. So I found that we ended up loving this one a lot more than the one at the Ambleside. It's not like one versus the other. I was literally just looking for a cheaper thing. But for the fourth kid, for my 5-year-old, the person in charge was recommending that I do something a little bit less expensive for her. And she actually, the 5-year-old, is the one that paints better than any of us, so, whatever. But everybody ended up loving these ones the most, and they're cheaper by, I think, at least $5 per container. So those are the watercolors. We do a lot of watercoloring in our homeschool. I think it just, especially after you have like a lot of heavy subjects that we're covering, it seems like the kids could just take some time to paint, kind of just let go, and then before they started getting into the heavy subjects again. And I allow that. It was beautiful. They have ended up with some gorgeous paintings. This is my son's. This is the one that, this is my 10-year-old's. He is a perfectionist, and he decided that he wanted to use his, this is again something else that I picked up this year. I just wanted some good quality watercolor sheets, and this is 140 pound, I think. Yes, and he loves this. He's a big perfectionist, and so when he got this, I was really concerned with how it was going to turn out, his work. And he took our everyday watercolor book. I think this was recommended by Salty Tribe Co. I think this is in her year 1. I just saw it and thought it would really work well for our homeschool. It's got some just basic how to watercolor, draw in watercolor, and it's been a game changer, I would say, for our homeschool. I do have drawing books, but I think we're just drawn to the watercolor. So I'll leave that link down below because I really do think it's a beneficial book. I wasn't sure if it was going to be useful because we have tried so many art books, and I don't know. I have one that I really thought was going to kind of be the one for our homeschool, and it was using primary colors to start your watercolor journey, and it was definitely a lot harder for us to pick up and follow along. So that book has worked really great. These watercolor notebooks have worked fantastic. Let me see if I can find. So that was my son's. My daughter was trying to draw this, which I thought was beautiful. She was trying to get rocks here, and I had to explain like how rocks would work and dimension and all that. But there is my daughter's, and this one says Lorna. So this one has just some basics in it. That was hers yesterday. These came a couple days ago. Ouch. And then my little one, I think she's just using her special notebook here, but she's doing some watercolors too. So anyway, really recommend these ones especially. I would say that this quality is a lot better than what I thought it was. I was literally just trying to find packages, so I didn't have to, when you put something in, you have to select numbers and stuff. And I just wanted, you know, the minimum I can find for the minimal packaging that I could find. And this came with a pack of 3 for $21, which when I compare it to stuff like Michael's and Joann's, that is definitely comparable. I think it's cheaper to do this than it is to go through Michael's and Joann's. And they don't have those. They have these things. Now, I will say that online, on Amazon, it is cheaper to wait for a 60% off coupon for Joann's and do it that way. But this is cheaper for me because I'm using my funding and it doesn't have to come out of my pocket. So this is the watercolor paper that we really have loved. It is Canson watercolor, 140 pounds. This is a 9x12. I don't like the really big ones. If I could find an 8x11, then that's the watercolor paper I would choose. That's because it's so much easier to put within notebooks, within sheet protectors, laminating, all that type of stuff. So when I give it to them, I do try to cut it, you know, 8.5 by 11. So it's not that much bigger, but it does make a difference. And then we got these two for the younger ones. So this one is 5.5 by 8.5, and so I have these for the older 3, and then I have these ones for the younger 2, and these ones are 7 by 10s, and they're not. This is 98 pound, and this is your basic ones. These aren't. I'll be honest. These aren't great quality, but in my opinion, they're good for watercolor. They will not bleed and kind of create like a chalky feel like your average paper will. But for my younger 2, this is a better option for us because they're still young and they are going to throw away a lot of what they're trying to do because it's not what they envisioned. They're still learning how to watercolor. I hope that makes sense. So if you have younger ones, I would recommend the cheaper type of paper just to get it going. It's still good quality paper. It's still better than your average run-of-the-mill. And why I like notebooks over paper like this is just containment. It's easier to keep contained, and so I can put these in a canvas bag, and we can take it and we can go and nature journal anywhere. I'll be honest, we haven't yet. I would like you to think that I'm that cool mom, but honestly, I haven't yet. I just have plans. And go and do that. But something like this, when you rip it out for each person and then it all gets put back into a tote bag, or you just take it in the car and it gets scattered all over the car, it'll get wrinkled, it'll get destroyed. Something like this, I prefer to do basically art and narrations, where I'll have like a drawing of maybe something that we've learned about, and then there's room here to write something for that. It works really good for poetry tea time. So these are like the papers that I really recommend. Like I said, I have really been loving this everyday watercolor. There is definitely other drawing books out there that are worthwhile, that are really good, that I would like to put into our library, but I have learned that with something like this, I'm going to be saving up what money I can and making the investment to own it rather than using our funding, because in the end, I have to give non-consumables back. Like, they're not mine to keep. So that is stuff like this we get to keep. We don't have to worry about returning it. Books, games, puzzles, etc., those have to be returned. And because we're looking at moving, I'm trying not to buy so much consumables, or non-consumables. The other thing that we use in our art, school of art, I don't know. The other thing we use in our school with art are these watercolor pens. I did pick up another set. The first set worked out really well, and I picked up another set because our first set only came with 4. That being said, and we only had one of these. So remember, I just wasn't thinking well. But each one of these has a blender pen, I think is what these are called. Something to remember. So, but I picked up a set of 4 because I do have, there's about 6 of us using these when we sit down and do it. And so 4 wasn't enough, and then we only had 5, and then, okay, and let's be honest, some of these get carried off sometimes. So I picked up another set. I really do like these. You just put water in them, and you can kind of blend and move about. The only thing I will say with these is that it's harder to do finer work with them. Beneficial to the family and something that I'll keep getting over and over again. Okay, the next thing that I picked up that I'm really impressed with, I will say that I thought the covers would be a little bit different. I'm just not a gloss person. I was really hoping they would be matte, and they're not. They're gloss. And this is from Twig and Moth. I think she's just called Twig and Moth on Instagram, and she posted these, and I thought this would be perfect for my older 2. These are reading logs, and one of the things that we have difficulty with when I have them finish a book is just keeping it basic and telling a short narration on it. And I feel like it just, especially for my son, my daughter has not a problem, but especially my son, he really just freezes up and feels like he's not going to do it right. I hope that makes sense, but basically, if it was all on his own idea, he can produce these amazing things, but if I ask for something, he tends to get very self-conscious and things like that. So I was really hoping, especially with all the books that we were reading for charter and stuff, then I would have like, well, it's not for charter, it's for our homeschool, but through our charter funding, then I would have like some kind of hard evidence, for lack of a better word, of what they've read and what they thought of it. So it's so basic. Honestly, this is something you could definitely put together on your own, hole punch it, put it in a big binder notebook. But this kind of thing is more us that can just slip into their shelf, into their school shelf and pull out. So it just is basic. You have date up here, book title, author, illustrator, brief summary, my thoughts on the book, so what the book is about, what I thought of the book, and what I learned from this book, and my rating. And so they come, there's 2 other watercolor ones that I think her son helped her do. And then, but these are definitely more my style. So there's 2 butterfly, or there's a butterfly one, and there's a bug one. So I have these for my kids, and I'm hoping it'll kind of help keep track of all this. Okay, so there's one other thing that I've been putting into our homeschool, just to kind of bring home stuff. I did a video kind of showing what my 5-year-old, her gentle schooling is, and in there was a Melissa and Doug United States puzzle that she puts together. Well, it ended up really working for all of us, just to kind of do and enjoy. So I was just really thinking of other puzzles that we could do. Basically during read aloud is what I was thinking. I had gotten this puzzle of Europe. I had picked up one from Marshall's for I think 13 bucks for my daughter because she's really into Paris, and I was putting this whole Paris thing together. We ended up needing to take it back just because I needed the funds, and then it was then that I realized I could go online and use our charter funding to do this. And so I picked up one of Europe. We're actually studying it in our geography history right now, so we're gonna do this one, and then, you know, we'll work with our Paris. Trust me, we're gonna get there. The other thing that I've been picking up is I picked up this one for my son. He has this on the front of his favorite sweatshirt, and so when I was choosing some art for us to do, he was all about this. He loves this one. So maybe if I can find a print for him, I'll try to do that. Or maybe I'll have him paint one for himself. There you go, and we'll frame it. But I cannot pronounce this artist's name. There you go. I'm not even going to try. I am not Japanese. Toyota Honda. That's it. Okay, but we're going to do this one. We have Girl with the Pearl Earring. We have a Degas. I have one other one coming. I just don't remember which one. But anyway, so basically I just have 1,000-piece puzzles that we're going to do while I am reading aloud. So that's what I've picked up with our charter funding. I did pick up a couple of books that I have no idea where they are because kids have taken them and gone and read them. So we got the Who Was Tesla, Who Was Napoleon, because we're getting to him, and I knew my son would love Tesla. He's all about Tesla right now. Tesla, Napoleon, and the Tuskegee Airmen for Black History Month. I thought that would be really good to do. Oh, and Mila. Those were the 4 books that we got this quarter. Anyway, so I really just wanted to share these with you because when I was talking to my husband and we were talking about what things are going to look like after this year, because I probably, after we finish this year, will not be enrolling back into the charter school. It really just depends on life. Our house is up on the market and we just need it to sell. And I really hope it does. Once it does, then we can get out from renting, and our income we should be able to hold more of our income. So if that would be the case, then I won't necessarily need the funding. And yeah, I hope that's it. And then we'll probably be going into more of a minimalistic kind of homeschool. But stuff like this that I've just shared with you, if I purchase this every quarter, like I've been trying to keep track of what we're spending, honestly, through our charter funds, the allotted amount, we haven't used a quarter of it because I haven't needed to. And that's okay. That's cool. That's good. The point was when I needed some stuff, it was nice to have the funding to do that. And last year when we started the homeschool and we picked up all of the workbooks that we were needing and things like that, yeah, that kind of stuff added up quickly. So it was really nice not to have to worry about that. We're just focusing on this. The student activity sheets for Story of the World, the map, the art, and things like that. I don't necessarily need them. And the second cycle around, we probably won't use them. We'll probably be writing our own maps and things like that. But I feel like I've reached that point in my homeschool that I feel confident enough to do that. But when you're learning everything, or it feels like you're learning everything, you just don't have that confidence. So, and then stuff like the art, like this is important to our homeschool. One of the reasons I love art within a homeschool is you have to be deliberate, you have to take time, and you're creating something beautiful. In school, it's so much about taking what you've learned and repeating it through math facts. You know, you're answering questions. With history, you're narrating. With all this stuff, you're still having to show forth something that you've retained. With art, you're able to bring out what's already in you. And I think with all the stuff that school brings in, that is kind of like a piece of you that just needs to come forth. I hope that makes sense. So art is definitely very important to us. I feel like we really just can turn a day that's starting to get stressful around by just doing a little bit of art. And this past week, I have to say, like, we did more art than we did school. And, you know, there's a little bit of guilt with that, but in the end, I really think that the relationships between each other were being built stronger, and you're not going to retain a lot of information when you are teaching in a stressful environment. You know, the kids just need something. They need to express themselves, they need to go outside, they need to go play, and me trying to keep them still and so that we do these lessons is not going to do anything. We need self-discipline is what I'm trying to say. And we still get that. We still are very important about doing our Bible reading, but I don't want it just to be a check mark off. You know, okay, we read the Bible, check. That's not the environment I want. And so, you know, sometimes the art will mean that we take a favorite verse from something we've read this morning and put it into our art. Or sometimes it's not. Sometimes it has nothing to do with Bible, just reflection on what we read and thought about as we're painting. I've seen that happen too. And sometimes the Lord's just going to work on us whether we remember anything or not. We still have to eat whether we want to or not to sustain ourselves. So anyway, I'm not going to get on my pedestal. Or I'm going to get off my pedestal. Anyway, I hope this video is helpful for you, especially with some of the stuff that I've shared. I'll try to leave links for everything that I did down below, just so that you can see it. It's there. I've had times where I don't share anything, and then I've had people ask me, you know, if I could link it. So I will leave everything linked down below for you. And I hope this video is helpful to somebody out there. Alright, I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, adios.